Welcome to Science Unplugged, the podcast where science and conversation collide. Join us for a deeper look into the world of innovation. We are your hosts, Taslima Farouk.
And Charvi Trivedi. Let's explore the insights from the world of science. From the lab to the field, we'll dive into the stories and experiences of researchers, experts, and innovators who are shaping our understanding of the world. Today we have with us Dr. Priyansha. It's an honor to have you here today, ma'am. She obtained her PhD in Environmental Science from CSIR National Institute of Oceanography. Currently, she's serving as a postdoctoral investigator at Monterrey Institute of Technology, Mexico. Her research revolves around aquatic pollution, focusing on emerging contaminants like microplastics, PFAS, phthalates, and pesticides. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you, Charvi, and thank you, Taslima. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. Yeah. And
Now, diving straight into the conversation. These days, we constantly hear about pollutions harming the planet, but one word that keeps popping us is microplastics. Since your work is rooted in this field, could you help our audience understand what microplastics are and why are they such a big concerns for the ecosystem and human health?
yeah, okay. So I think everybody now knows about plastic, anything they know. And if I go by, in the science or in the definition, then they are, particles like smaller than 5 mm if you check on the scale, and they go beyond, nano plastics nowadays are coming. So they are also in the nano size range. So they are very small. And then if you talk about different sources, like, you are using plastic bottle, but when it comes to the beaches or in the ocean environment, it has many sources. So primary, we say it's as a primary microplastic, secondary microplastic. So primary are generally, if you have heard any news like recently or way before, that many of the pellets, the smaller white circular ones are, got spilled during the, transportation in the ocean. So they are basically the primary ones. And also, if you observe in your face washes or the scrubs, very teeny particles are there. They are also now a classification in the microplastics. And so secondary microplastic are nothing. We say that when you see a bigger plastics in the atmosphere, in the environment, when it get breakdown from different, sunlight, wave action, mechanical. So this goes by definition, and there is still some of the debates goes that, what could be the plastic, microplastic, like that way. So what makes is more concerning is their ubiquitous nature. They're everywhere. Like I'm having this water, maybe it is having microplastic, I don't know. The salt, the, the seafood food we eat, anything, they are in the part of the deepest trenches, in the soil, in the groundwater, everywhere. So now they are part of our ecosystem, human health, everything. The problem is because they are very small, any filtration system cannot capture it, trap it. So they are now easily part of our ecosystem. There are many, other pollutants are already there. You hear about the heavy metals, and they have a very good tendency to absorb them because they are smaller in size and they have a large, surface area. So that's the way that they also carry so many pollutants with them. It's not only about the microplastic, they are also having a pool of chemicals. And some of the sources which people might assume is about the, the our cloth materials. When you wash your clothes, it's mentioned that tons of fibers releases when we wash our clothes. So many people are unaware about that. And also the tires, the vehicles we use, even it gets unnoticed, like nobody thinks about that could be a microplastics, but they play a very huge role in the overall contribution of that. And even the paints, the wall paints or the ship paints are used. So these are some of the, surprising facts that they are still in some of the things we see apart from the, toys or bottles, and also the chewing gums. So I mean, they are having a lot of plastic, I mean, coming from tea bags, different sources. So yeah, I think these are some of the things we should, think about, that from where it is coming. Yeah. So the term emerging contaminants is like, it's not like they are newly invented, like, suddenly in 1 years we are aware that okay, they are emerging. No, it has been there, but their potential, the baseline data, or the limits which is already provided by WHO, EPA, was not there. So emerging comes from that perspective, that it was already there. Like if I tell about the emerging contaminants, in that list is huge, but nowadays what we are talking about more is, apart from microplastic, is the PFAS. So PFAS is forever chemicals, and I was watching one documentary about the dark waters. If you have not saw or something, just watch it. It's about the PFAS, it's about the chemicals. Like every chemicals which we are now talking about, the emerging, has the started with some industries, and some had some journey. So this PFAS itself, invented around 1940 or something, and then got industrialization, and then that was first made in the Teflon, made our cooking pans, to make it like nothing should be touched, and to make it heat resistant something, those chemicals were invented like that way. But after the period, these chemicals, nobody talked about what could be their potential harm and health risk. So now they are emerging contaminant, because this is the 70 years history, but we can get the signature of them in the water system, in our drinking water, in our food. So that way, the one emerging contaminant comes in my mind is PFAS. As you also talked that I'm working on the phthalates also. So plasticizer is a part of plastic. I mean, the when you see something plastic which is stretchable, flexible, or something which is hard, heat resistant, so those things are added in the plastic during the manufacture. So phthalates, another thing to, if you see the any red color chair or bottles, to make them, the color, many things are added. So these plasticizer phthalates are, big concern, because they are added for the different materials, but now it's a part of emerging contaminant. They are having different endocrine descriptor which can harm for the human body. Then comes the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which is not at all new, because in India we can see lot of combustion activities are there. Like if you see the wood materials we are burning during the winters, and soot particles coming from different chimney, we say, during the manufacture, and also the petroleum, so these are coming from those activities. Then comes, which I also recently got to know about, the pharmaceuticals. Okay, so what happens? Like you take the medicine, and the medicine has some specific thing to work in your body, and then unmetabolized part which is there, it's excreted and passed through the sewage treatment plant. And what is remaining is the issue now, because the drugs has so many properties to cure specific thing, but what about the other thing it has, which goes to the sewage treatment plant? So now it is also becoming a really really big issue, that pharmaceuticals and personal care products. And I kept pesticides in the last, because I'm working on that. I want to talk more about this. So like maybe I can go more about my research also, and the pesticide also in the later part. Yeah.
Like you just said, relating all these professionally to your work, can you briefly tell us about your current research work as a postdoc investigator? What kind of questions are you trying to answer right now relating to pesticides as well?
Yeah, I think it's going with the last question itself, because I want to talk more about what we I'm working here in the Tec de Monterrey in Mexico. So my work mostly, it's also about the microplastics and the other environmental issue, which is pesticide. So I was not at all working on the pesticide. I have no clue that how it is going to impact. I was always thinking there are many chemicals which are harmful, but when I went deeper into this pesticide, I understood, no, this is something way beyond anything, because this is going to directly impact the farmers which are working in the field. So my work here is especially about the how these pesticides and or also the plastics are now part of the agro ecosystem. You see many greenhouse gases experiment they create, or the to protect our crops. So that setup also has plastic mulching and many things. So these plastics and pesticide are now a part of our agro food ecosystem. So here I'm mostly working on the pesticide. It's a movement into the soil, in the groundwater, and how it is coming to nearby ecosystem. So when people think about pesticide, they think that okay, that is for good. I also agree that is for a good purpose. The pesticide are created, and that is somehow protect our crops during the green evolution in India. Also in the globally, these pesticides were used to kill specific pets and pets and to grow more and more crops. Otherwise it's like the yield was very low. So that way the pesticide were invented. But what happens when pesticides sprayed in the ecosystem? You see farmers are spraying, most of them are going to the atmosphere, and they are directly inhaled by the farmers. Even though in India many farmers don't know how to use specific safety equipments, it goes directly to inhalation process and their skin, or there are many things. That's why some of the pesticides were banned in India, because their toxicity was so high that that was impacting the human and other people. And when it is sprayed in the agro ecosystem, most of the part it goes in the atmosphere, and some of them goes to the plant and also in the soil. And what happens when rain happens or any leaching is there, they go to the surrounding river bodies. So now it's not at a one, it is for, it was for the targeted thing, but now it is going to everywhere in the atmosphere, in the food chain, in the human, and in the river bodies. Then organisms are impacting. So these pesticides are already reported in drinking water also, because if it is going groundwater, it's also a part of river system and the drinking water. So here I'm trying to see that also I have published some review paper that how these microplastics and pesticides are leaching to the groundwater. And also the risk is nowadays coming more concern about this pesticide is the cancer risk, because many of the pesticides are now in the guidelines. It's not fully yet regulated that okay, this specific pesticide is going to be cancer risk. It's always area of research. It might go, it might not go. So but we should not wait that okay, the data will publish and the researcher will say no, this pesticide is going to impact the human health in that way that cancer is coming, because cancer is something everybody have a fear. So that's why it is very important to understand these emerging contaminant. And I'm focusing on pesticides because I got exposure here about this project, which project is the CBR, which is challenge based research. I'm working with Professor Manish Kumar, and our team has expertise in analytical chemistry, modeling, antimicrobial resistant genes, and some other way. We are also looking for pollution as a solution based some of the approaches. How can we do? So yeah, this is here I'm working on. Yeah.